My name is Chris Smith.
I'm Roger Landis.
I'm professor and chair of musicology and director of the Vernacular Music Center at Texas Tech University School of Music.
I'm also the associate director of the Vernacular Music Center.
Well, the piece had its original inception in conversations that my co-director Roger Landis and I had in 2016.
And it was topical and essential then, and it's become even more so in the intervening years.
We were looking for a new multimedia staged production kind of property. We knew we wanted to author it, and we knew that we wanted to use our Vernacular Music Center approaches, which are always student-centered and based in history and based in folkloric musics that are learned and taught and passed on by ear and in the memory. And so we came up with the idea of a piece whose historical roots would be in the history as we perceive it of this nation, this settler nation on this continent.
It's a piece that poses a number of questions about our history,
which is one of colonization and extraction and exploitation. And that's why the piece is called Plunder, Battling for Democracy in the New World.
And about how our history is remembered, how our history is propagated, how it's used, and gives an opportunity to give voice to some people from our history who have been silenced. It's different from its very conception. It's a devised piece, or we would say now it's partially devised.
Well, we call it a folk oratorio, and I think both of those words are actually important because it's conceived as semi-staged. It was conceived to be something with a very light footprint that could have a small folk band, small acoustic folkloric band, a cast of singers, soloists with some familiarity and opportunity to rehearse the solo numbers, and then a chorus as community and commentator. So that's the oratorio part of it.
It's from the very beginning. Not only is it voices of people who were written out of history, but it's in terms of the way the show has been put together, the way it was arrived at. We started with names of people, and with our students, we went from there. They did a lot of the research. We worked on it together, conceiving it, the shape of it.
The folk part of it is that all of the music has been sourced from traditional folkloric sources, or it's composed in those styles, and all of the texts are historical texts.
We're looking at this opportunity to work with the Lyric Opera department here at University of Delaware as a way to finish that process. It's like, in a way, our students from 2017 are kind of handing it off to the students here for finishing. So it's rather than a completely authored work that is handed in scroll form to a group of performers and a director, the performers and the director actually having a hand in the authorship of the piece.
I like to believe, Roger and I have operated for decades upon decades, even before the founding of the Vernacular Music Center. We've operated from the idea that vernacular musics that are learned, taught, and passed on by ear and in the memory, functional musics that are used to get social business done, that they have tremendous eloquence and continuing resonance and continuing meaning, whether they are included within the academy or not.
By giving up some of the agency of the authorship, we're also sharing that responsibility and finding the way forward. So, in a way, we're kind of posing a set of questions.
So going forward, I would hope that not only the voices which are being resounded in this piece, the stories that are being uncovered or for which space is being held, but also the procedure.
A set of processes, vernacular musical processes, as a way to try something different in the creation of a work.
Collaborative creativity and group authorship and group ownership and individual and collective, collaborative, communal choice is important. Roger talks about the idea of a story in which the hero is not a single protean individual, not a single Luke Skywalker type, but that the hero is actually the community, and that community is both the community of people from history that we talk about, but it's also the community of artists who've come together to finally realize this piece at UDEL.
But this is a unique opportunity for us to kind of take this show on the road, so to speak, and work with new people in a new institution and kind of test some of the ideas that we had put in action 6 years ago and see how they go forward, see if they can take root here.
It has never been fully staged. Working with these young artists and with our good friends in the UDL School of Music, and we're looking forward to what we all discover together.
Freedom!